Generation X hip hop had a massive influence around the world. When we look at what they did collectively, breaking down barriers globally, probably influencing billions of minds, or in the slight way, the way that music influences all of us through our subconscious, giving us ideas or new thoughts of things. And they talked a lot through mythological terms. They talked about life, they talked about death, they talked about hell a lot. And I wanted to take some time to examine just what Gen X hip hop was telling us about hell in their lyrics. And I think you'll find all this very fascinating. I'm going to start off with probably one of my favorites, which is Tupac. And if we listen to Pac's music, hell was not a place. Hell is a system. If we go to his music, Hellraiser, Blasphemy, Only God Can Judge Me, hell isn't beneath the soil. It is above ground in poverty. It's police brutality. It's a society that criminalizes black existence. This is a hell where black life is trapped in this matrix. He laments the beauty of us by saying, some say the blacker the berry, the deeper the juice. I say the blacker the flesh, the deeper the roots. But that comes with this ostracization in society. He is kind of a rebel against God in some ways, because in tracks like Blasphemy, he confronts this divine silence during these times of suffering. As these people have gone through these things, he is saying, questioning, why was there no divine intervention? So in some ways he aligns with the fallen angels, who are very conscious of what the divine system is and even respects it, but still questions aspects of it very openly. He mirrors the book of Job. He is the Gnostic fall, where Earth is this battlefield of souls that have been forgotten. Now, Biggie, Notorious B.I.G., tells a very different hell, a very different vision of hell. His tellings of hell, it is inevitable, so make it luxurious. If we look at Suicidal Thoughts, if we listen to Niggas Bleed, Ready to Die, he embraces what he calls the devil's game. He accepts the role of being a sinner. When I die, I'm gonna go to hell, cause I'm a piece of, it ain't hard to can tell. He flips the Christian binary. He makes peace with damnation. Hell is internal for him. This is seen through depression, guilt, paranoia. These are the aspects that haunt him, not fire and brimstone. So he paints a very different look at what hell is. He has a idea that materialism is the escape. Hell is dulled by having Gucci, by having Cristal. If he's going to burn, he's going to do it in Versace. And through his lens, we see some of Lucifer's pride. He is reshaping hell into a kingdom of opulence, much like we see in Dante's Inferno, as they get to the inner circles of vice. He represents all those themes. Now, for Nas, another very powerful voice, hell is ignorance and the devil is a lie. If he looks at the cross, if I rule the world, dance, I gave you power. Hell is mental slavery. Nas frames it through historical amnesia, systematic ignorance, and the loss of cultural identity. And he blends wisdom with weapons. And I gave you power, he literally becomes a gun. He is a cursed tool of destruction, trapped in an endless loop of death. Hell is spiritual stagnation, as he reaches for the metaphysical heights to keep returning to Earth's broken system. He evokes a almost operatic thought where souls are trapped in cycles of escape only through divine knowledge. That is your one outlet, but it remains a shining hope. So it is a different hell that he paints here. Now, for DMX, another very powerful voice from this time, hell is real, and he has been to hell. If we listen to Damien, if we listen to Slip It, if we listen to Let Me Fly, this is spiritual warfare. DMX doesn't metaphor hell, he lives it. He talks to demons like Damien. He wrestles with angels. He pleads with God. He has an addiction that is his demonic possession. He struggles with drugs. He struggles with violence. And his pain echoes tales of exorcism. It manifests. And redemption isn't guaranteed. Like, even though he is reaching for salvation. He has acknowledged that he wants salvation. He knows that this abyss out there still might get him. He's very, very realistic when he looks at it. He channels to me the book of Revelation, the temptation of Christ. These things are very heavy, as well as this West African spirit possession narratives, if you look at how Damien is ultimately written. And I will go back and look at that in detail and do a deeper dive. And then, of course, one of my favorite voices from the East Coast as well was Mobb Deep, who they paint a very graphic image of hell being the projects very specifically. And they repeat those themes in Hell on Earth, obviously, and Shook Ones Part 2, where the streets is hell, the projects is frontline, and the enemies is one time. And their theology is crystal clear. Hell isn't punishment, it's the environment in which you were born into. And there's no escape. Hope does not exist in this world. The devil doesn't need to tempt you because he runs the block himself. Survival is the salvation, the ultimate goal. And even then, it's temporary that you get your rewards. But they align with some heavy theologies of the underworld, particularly the Dua, a realm where the soul is ultimately tested. Even as you're on your way to face judgment, to weigh your heart, there are still temptations all around you as you make your way through the various cells of the Dua. So throughout temptation. Now for Gen X rappers, hell is kind of changed. It's not this destination for the most part. It is not. It really is defined in the way that they reshape these stories based on like racism, poverty, trauma, spiritual conflicts. Some are trying to escape it, like Nas and Pac, and talk about going to higher places, while some embrace it, as Biggie and Mobb Deep do. DMX is the one who you see him, he is in a fight for it. And some still laugh at it. It's a very interesting conflict of what we see, but we definitely get a different telling of hell that is specific to Gen X and these rappers whose influence was massive. And they influence a lot of people with their music, and we'll see what comes out of the next generation of people who've been influenced by that. But give me your thoughts about hip-hop and mythology and the welding of this mythological tool by these modern poets and oracles.